Here we are, guys, in part 5 of this story. In the Land of Waves, our favorite blonde encounters the QB. Watch the subsequent events unfold as Naruto uses the power that was sealed inside of him on the day of his birth. Please remember to like, subscribe, and share with your friends. Now, let's begin. Sasuke snapped back to reality. The sad part was that Naruto was right. The two of them were facing the Snake Master while Haku joined their side. Fine, I'll show you I am no karate kid, Naruto, Sasuke said as he activated the Sharingan. Naruto, Haku, and Sasuke all pulled out their shuriken, Shinban for Haku, tossing them at the snakes summoned. Naruto's were aimed left while Haku's were aimed right. As the grass ninja tried to back up out of range of the weapons, he found himself against an ice mirror. Sasuke's shuriken were coming straight towards him, but broke off course at the last second. Yeah, can't seem to kill me? You will learn what the mistake you made, Sasuke, the snake ninja said as Sasuke smirked. With a flick of the wrist, he revealed the wire attached to the shuriken. Controlling and manipulating them, the shuriken wrapped back around, tying his opponent to Haku's ice. Fire Dragon Bullet. Sasuke called out, sending a stream of powerful flames sailing towards their enemy. When the smoke cleared, the mirror was practically completely melted, but their opponent remained. From the looks of it, his skin was burnt and peeling away. A wave of killing intent struck the four genin as Sakura joined them at their side. This time, it was more intense than it had been before. The four genin looked on in horror as the man's skin peeled away to reveal an even more sinister face. Kid, this is really bad. I am beginning to sense even some dark and evil power coming from this guy, Kurama informed Naruto. You will most likely be unconscious for a few hours after this, but I'm going to push more power through the seal and try and get you into the one-tailed state. Who the hell are you? Sasuke called out, still paralyzed by fear. My name is Orochimaru, the snake man hissed. If you want to see me again, then survive this exam. Of course that means defeating my men, the Sound Ninja Trio. Why the hell would we ever want to see you again? Sakura called out. I'm going to give you a little going away present, Sasuke. In time, you will come seek me out. With that, Orochimaru extended his neck towards Sasuke, looking like he was ready to bite him. Naruto stepped in front of the snake man, catching his head in a headlock just before he was able to reach Sasuke. Red chakra began to bubble around him, forming a demonic chakra cloak. I won't let you touch him, you creepy bastard. Naruto called out, punching Orochimaru in the face and sending him backwards as the chakra cloak fully enveloped Naruto, taking on an almost animalistic appearance. Naruto's team looked on in shock at the transformation that was taking place. Slowly, the cloak began to look more fox-like, with a tail and ears emerging. What did you do to him? Sakura called out, thinking this was Orochimaru's doing. Yeah, why don't you ask him yourself? Orochimaru responded. Sasuke, you were too valuable for me to let you escape without giving you some of my power first. But first, I know how to take care of your fox brat friend. Sakura, I don't think that is Orochimaru. I've felt this chakra from Naruto before, Haku said. Back in the Land of Waves, that's where I've felt that power of his before. Sakura took back her words and watched in astonishment as Naruto engaged Orochimaru, cloaked in this mysterious red chakra. Orochimaru lunged straight at Naruto. 5.C. Huh? Orochimaru was stopped dead in his tracks. Something was snaking up his legs, working its way closer to the rest of his body. He looked around to see sand. It was then that he realized he would be in trouble if he stuck around much longer. Mother wants their blood, Gaara said, appearing on scene and unleashing his own wave of killing intent. I will be the one to kill them, and I'll kill you as well. Orochimaru managed to snake his way out of Gaara's sand claws. He was shocked. A couple of genin were forcing him to retreat, although two of them had demon-infused chakra coursing through their veins. Damn, I'm not going to be able to get to Sasuke now, Oh well, I'm sure I can think of a way to get him. With that, Orochimaru left as Gaara turned his attention to Naruto, Sakura, Sasuke, and Haku. Mother wants your blood, Gaara said as his sand crept towards them. Naruto didn't know what to think, but the killing intent radiating from Gaara told his teammates to back away. Damn, the fox swore to Naruto. Why did it have to be him? Who? Naruto asked in confusion. I'm almost positive of it now. It's the Ichibi, Shikaku. He's the weakest of us, but he's seriously annoying, not to mention insane. I'd recognize the bloodlust of that badger coming from that kid. Anywhere, Kurama informed Naruto. Kid, work on getting your team out of here. You might not have noticed, but I can't keep up the cloak for much longer. Once the cloak dissipates, you will most likely lose consciousness. Naruto turned to his teammates. Guys, let's get out of here. I've got a bad feeling about this guy. What do you mean get out of here? You were the one who suggested we stay and fight. Sasuke argued with his demon cloak teammate. And care explaining that red chakra around you. I will, but just trust me on this, we need to get out of here, Naruto said. He's right, a blonde Kunoichi said, jumping down next to Naruto. This is one opponent you guys don't want to fight, given the condition you are in. Who are you? Sakura asked as the five of them were now dodging Gaara's sand. Yujitoni, the cloud Kunoichi said. But now is not the time for introductions. With that, Yujito made a few hanged seals. Hellcat flames. She shouted as 3 flaming tigers roared towards Gaara, enveloping him in flames. That will distract him for a little. Now let's go. The 5 of them took off, away from Gaara. As they were moving, Naruto's demon cloak began to fade and he slowly lost consciousness. Realizing that Naruto was fading, Sasuke went to catch his falling teammate and regrouped with the rest of his team. Temari and Kankuro arrived to see Gaara wrapped in flaming tigers. Once the flames ceased, Gaara was unharmed, due to a cocoon of sand encasing him. Gee Gaara, Kankuro said, cautiously approaching his teammate. Kankuro, Temari, let's go. Mother needs blood and lots of it, Gaara called out, letting some killing intent flow from him. Kankuro and Temari wanted to object, but knew that Gaara would just kill them as well. What caused Gaara to become so bloodthirsty all of a sudden? They both thought, leaving to go satisfy Gaara's bloodlust. Team 7 plus Yujito came to rest near the river. They set Naruto underneath the roots of a large tree, hiding him from sight of any enemies. Yujito, do you know what's going on? Sakura asked. Everyone else wanted to know. They had caught a slight glimpse of Yujito's reaction to Naruto's condition upon arrival and realized that there was something she knew. I do, the Kunoichi said. But I think your friend should be the one to tell you. As for that Tsuna kid, let's just say he has a serious mental problem. Now, I don't want to do anything to hurt you, so please don't attack me and I won't kill you. What makes you think you can kill us? Sasuke responded, taking that as a challenge. First, you are in no condition fight. You need to rest. And second, let's just say that kid of yours and I have something in common. They were unsure as to what Yujito was talking about. She risked herself even further by telling them that she was familiar with the kind of power that Naruto had displayed, only making Team 7 want to know more. Why should we believe you? You could just be here for our scroll? Sakura said. Yujito pulled out a scroll, revealing it to be an earth scroll. We have the same scrolls from what I saw back there, and I have no need for a third earth scroll, Yujito responded. Team 7 was in the same situation with 2 earth scrolls and no desire for a third as well. If you think I am going to harm you, then attack me now and I will flee. After a short hesitation, Team 7 decided to accept Yujito's company for the time being. What do you think? Yujito thought to herself. It's definitely one of us, a voice within Yujito said. His cloak features seemed rather fox-like. Wait. It couldn't be Kurama, Could it? Kurama? Yujito responded. The QB. Yes, I am pretty sure that Kurama is within that kid. It's been over 100 years, and I've actually been looking forward to seeing him. Oh, do I look okay? I hope he's still not bitter like he was 100 years ago and wants to talk. I really do want to talk to him. Yujito let out a little laugh, catching the attention of Haku. It's almost nightfall, Enko thought to herself, darting through the trees of the forest. I must find him before it's too late. I must stop him even if it costs my life. Even if I can't, I must slow him down enough for the Anbu to arrive. I must stop you, isn't that right? Orochimaru, Enko said, turning to the snake man camouflaging himself with a tree. Why are you here? Enko threw a few poisoned needles at Orochimaru, who snaked his way around them. He lashed out his tongue, binding Enko's wrists. You won't get me this time, Shadow Snake Fangs. Suddenly, snakes erupted out of Enko's wrists and bit Orochimaru's tongue, forcing him to recall it. If you really must know, I'm doing some body shopping. I've picked out a fresh young Uchiha that will work out nicely. The snake let out an evil laugh. Enko knew what that meant. Orochimaru had given Sasuke Uchiha the curse mark. Enko charged into him, forcing Orochimaru back into a tree and pinning him there with a kunai. "Yeah, caught you," she said, letting out a little smirk. "Now let me borrow your left hand." Enko made a seal between her right hand and his left hand. That seal. Orochimaru thought, a little bit of fear coursing through him. "Yes," Enko said with an evil smirk. "You and I will both die. Double snake assassination." Suddenly, Orochimaru disappeared in a puff of smoke, revealing himself to be nothing more than a shadow clone. Enko cursed under her breath as Orochimaru had escaped her grasp once again. Suddenly, the real Orochimaru came up behind her, ripping the burnt skin and revealing his true face. Enko clutched her shoulder as the pain of her curse mark flared up. "Please don't end this exam. There are some things I want to enjoy, including 3 from my own village," the snake ninja said. "If you stop this exam prematurely, I will destroy your precious village." With that, Orochimaru disappeared, leaving Enko lying on the tree branch to deal with the pain of her curse mark. Surprisingly, Team 7 managed to get a good sleep, with everyone, except Naruto, taking 3-hour shifts for guard duty. After about 9 hours of resting, Naruto still had yet to wake. Like Orochimaru-sama said, "We attack at daybreak," a sound ninja hiding in the bushes said. "Our target is Sasuke Uchiha. If the others get in our way, we just kill them, including that Kumo girl." As morning broke, Sakura was the one on guard. She noticed a ruffling in the bushes and threw a kunai towards it, revealing nothing more than a squirrel. As she let out a sigh of relief, another animal came running towards her out of the bushes. She threw another knife at the animal, noticing that it was carrying something. An explosive tag. This put her on guard as she proceeded to wake Sasuke, Haku, Yujito, and attempted to wake Naruto, to no avail. Just as she was going to wake Sasuke, there was a voice behind the trees. "Don't wake Sasuke. We want to fight him, but you'll just get in the way." "What are you here for? That Orochimaru creep sent you, didn't he?" Sakura shouted, waking the others with the exception of Naruto. Upon seeing Sasuke get up, the 3 sound ninja were in a slight state of shock. "How are you up?" The one with black Kakashi-like hair said. "I thought the mark Orochimaru gave you should have put you in too much discomfort to fight, if not killed you." "What mark?" said a confused Sasuke. Everyone else wanted to know about this mark the sound ninja were talking about. After hearing that, he remembered Orochimaru's head traveling towards them, but Naruto stepping in the way to block it with that weird chakra cloak around him. "What do you mean? What mark?" "The curse mark that should be on the back of your neck," the sound ninja said. "There is no mark. Your boss never gave me a curse mark, thanks to that exhausted idiot over there," Sasuke said, pointing to Naruto. But how did Orochimaru-sama fail?" the girl asked. Sasuke just shrugged. "Now I suggest you leave before we have to kill you," Sasuke said as Haku, Sakura, and Yujito joined him. Sakura, guard Naruto. "I don't want him dying before I find out about that weird power of his." "Haku, you take the girl, I'll take the one that stole Kakashi's ridiculous hairstyle, and Yujito you get the other one." The three sound ninja jumped at the four-leaf and cloud ninja. Sakura smiling as they did. Using her knife, she cut the wire, sending two giant logs towards them. "When did you do that?" Haku asked, surprised by the attack. "This morning while everyone was sleeping," Sakura said, letting loose a little grin. She even managed to get a smile out of Sasuke, who charged his target. Granted, the rest of the fight wasn't exciting. Sasuke was hoping for a better fight from the sound guys, but all that happened is that the girl found herself a human pincushion. The Kakashi-looking guy broke one of his arms after Sasuke kicked him right into one of Sakura's traps, and the last sound ninja wound up being chased by flaming cats for a solid 15 minutes. After all was said and done, the sound ninja had a damn earth scroll on them. The last thing they all needed was another earth scroll. "Morning everyone," Naruto yawned. His attention turned to the defeated sound ninja. "Did I miss something?" Everyone's sweat dropped as they were wondering how anyone could sleep with a fight going on near them, considering that there was a Naruto-shaped outline made of shuriken and kunai on the tree directly behind where he was. Somehow, the lucky kid managed to avoid any projectile thrown his way. Seeing their opportunity, the sound ninja escaped. Sasuke now had the chance to ask the question that everyone wanted to know the answers to. "Naruto, about yesterday. What happened?" he asked as everyone's attention turned to Naruto. "Well, I don't really want to talk about it," Naruto said, trying to avoid the subject, which he was really bad at to start with. "And why not?" Sakura said, trying to be nice and play the opposite to Sasuke's forcefulness. "Does it have something to do with that weird chakra?" Haku asked, remembering their battle on the bridge. Naruto nodded. For some reason though, he could see Yujito looking at him with a look of sadness and understanding. It was then that Naruto realized that the two of them were similar. "Which one?" he asked Yujito. "Two, you?" she responded to him. Now everyone wanted desperately to know what they were talking about. "9, Naruto said. "What the hell are you two talking about?" Sakura said, butting in. "Sakura, can't I ask you a question?" Naruto said. He was no longer the cheerful blonde-haired idiot that they all knew and loved. In his eyes, they could see a hint of pain and suffering. "So are you going to tell them?" Kurama asked his host. "Yeah. They've already seen enough and I'm tired of keeping secrets. If I just hide from them, they will definitely hate me and I would rather have them hating me knowing why they were doing it," Naruto told his resident demon. "What is it?" Sakura asked Naruto. "Do you know why everyone in the village hated me?" Naruto asked as everyone went silent. "Well, now that you mention it, I never really thought about it," Sakura responded. Naruto's questions brought back flashbacks from Haku's own childhood. He remembered the mob, formed by his own father out of fear, killing his mother. "I just stayed away from you because my parents didn't want me to be near you. I remember some people referring to you as a demon child, but what could that possibly mean?" "Do you know about the QB attack on the village almost 13 years ago?" Naruto asked as Sakura and Sasuke nodded. "The QB? Well, I was told it was an evil monster that attacked our village. However, the fourth sacrificed himself to kill the demon and save the village," Sakura said. Inside, Kurama scoffed at the comment. "What if I told you that story was made up?" Naruto said. "What do you mean by that?" Sasuke asked, still not picking up on anything. Haku was slowly realizing that something was up, but was unsure due to his lack of village knowledge. For the past 12 years, the third put a law into place to try and protect me. However, That ended up backfiring, and the entire village ended up resenting me, seeing me as some remnant of that night, Naruto said, taking a deep breath. On that night, the only way the fourth could defeat the Kyuubi was to seal the Kyuubi inside a newborn infant. No, gasped Sakura, suddenly realizing what Naruto was trying to say. Yes, Sakura, that infant was me, Naruto said as he saw her eyes tear up. Sasuke stood in shock at the revelation. Haku understood all too well what it was like to be feared and cast aside, but was still in shock that this kid had an actual demon inside of him. However, Yujito was the only one who truly understood his pain. Before you go freaking out and try to hate me like the rest of the village, please understand that I am not the Kyuubi. It's not like I had a choice in the matter and it just happened. I'm still Naruto, it's just that I have the Kyuubi inside me. Naruto looked up at his team, who just stared at him in shock. There was no way their little knuckle-headed teammate could have a demon. Sakura? Naruto asked. Sakura was trying her best to suppress her regret for treating Naruto like a piece of crap in the past. I never knew. Her voice trailed off. That's why everyone hated you? Naruto nodded. Sakura was at a loss for words. Naruto looked at Sasuke, who was just looking at him with his usual demeanor. Sasuke? Naruto asked. Is something wrong? Sasuke shook his head. It's just hard to believe that someone like you could have a demon inside of him. You've always been so positive, despite everything that you've gone through. I know the feeling of loneliness, it tears at you. Having to bear that for 12 years, how did you do it? Don't you hate the villagers for doing what they did to you? Naruto smiled. No, I don't hate them. I just see it as I need to prove them wrong and show them who I really am. You mean a blonde-haired, mischief-making idiot? Sasuke let the joke slip, enraging Naruto a little. But Naruto soon realized that was just how Sasuke is, and he realized that his team wasn't going to abandon him like the rest of the village. After what you did yesterday, it sounds like that creep was going to give me some sort of curse, and you were able to stop him and save us, Naruto. We talked about what all the possibilities for that weird chakra you had were, but we came up to the same conclusion. Huh? Naruto said, a little confused. We decided that regardless of what it was, you just wanted to protect us, so we wouldn't hate you for whatever it was that you said, Sakura said, reassuring Naruto. Naruto just gave his team a big smile. Somehow, his team had managed to look past the demon inside him after his actions yesterday saved them from that creepy snake dude. Hey Kurama, can you hear me at all? Another voice inside Naruto's head called out. Barely, is that you Matatabi? This connection is shaky, probably because of this damn seal, Kurama said. Ouch. Naruto began freaking out, hearing a second voice inside his head. Why are there two voices inside my head? The damn fox was enough, but now there is another one? Everyone looked at him as if he were going insane. Yujito just laughed. It's probably the Nibi. She's been wanting to talk to your friend ever since we realized that you were his Jinchuriki, Yujito said. Wait, does that mean? Sakura said, pointing at Yujito. Yes. Like Naruto, I am a Jinchuriki as well, Yujito explained. While our tailed beasts can normally only talk to us, sometimes they can generate links between other Jinchuriki to talk to other tailed beasts. Wait, so that means you can talk to that evil demon, Naruto? Sasuke sent him a suspicious look. Yeah, oh, and speaking of which, he's not really evil, just misunderstood, Naruto said as the rest of his team looked on with utter confusion. Naruto explained to them everything that Kurama had told him, and Team 7 did the only thing they could do regarding the matter. They accepted what Naruto was saying. So what you're saying is that you can access the fox's power anytime? Sasuke asked, hoping that was not the case. If Naruto had access to that power all the time, he would never be able to beat his teammate. No. I can only use it in emergency situations, like back there," Naruto said. Sakura asked him why, and Naruto explained that by using the Kyuubi's power with the seal still intact, it would put a major strain on his body, which could also respond in him going unconscious like he did before or even going insane. Plus, if the seal was stressed for too long, it would begin to crack. If the seal broke, then both Naruto and the Kyuubi would die. The only way to safely release the seal was with some sort of key. Most of the conversation between Kurama and Matatabi was just regular chit-chat. However, they did get onto an interesting topic. "What do you think of that Sand Kid? Do you think he's?" Matatabi said. I really hope not, but unfortunately I think so," Kurama responded. "Huh? Now they're talking about that Gaara kid," Naruto said to Yujito. "What about Gaara?" Sasuke asked, trying to get as much info on one of the more powerful competitors as he could. "Both of our inhabitants have come to the conclusion that he may also be a Jinchuriki for the Ichibi," Yujito stated as a wave of shock was sent through the Leaf Ninja. "They don't really know much more, but they said to watch out for him." Of course, this only made Sasuke want to fight him more. The aspect of going up against something with powers similar to that of what Naruto had just displayed was rather invigorating. Now the team turned to Yujito, as their curiosity was directed towards the Kumo Jinchuriki. "So why did you come and find us if you are not after our scroll or anything?" Sakura asked, wanting to know why she found them and helped them escape from Gaara's sound. "To be honest, I needed to get away from my team. Karui and Amoy are two you never want to be around when they start arguing. Especially when Karui starts shooting her head off," Yujito explained as Sakura was reminded of how Naruto and Sasuke act sometimes. "Also, Matatabi and I wanted to confirm our suspicions about Naruto." Suddenly, they all heard screaming and yelling coming from behind them. "Well, looks like my team is here. I had better go before they cause you trouble," Yujito said, leaving the group of Konoha ninja. It was getting late on the third day, and the four of them had decided to make their way closer to the tower, with the hope of picking up some opponents camping out to ambush competitors. Their luck paid off, and they soon found themselves facing another group of Rain Ninja, who apparently wanted revenge for what Team 7 did to their comrades earlier on. However, they really weren't much of a match for Team 7, who already outnumbered them before Naruto used his shadow clones. "Ha ha! About time!" Sakura cheered as she searched the defeated ninja to find a heaven scroll. The four made their way to the tower, leaving just over a day left in the competition. Shortly after, they arrived at the tower and proceeded into their designated rooms. They entered a room to discover no one there, but they found a poster with some sort of saying on it. After seeing that there were missing words, Sakura figured that they would be on the scrolls. The time had come for Team 7 to open their scrolls. As they did, a cloud of smoke appeared in front of them. Team 7 expected one final enemy. "Hey, long time no see," the figure in the smoke said. Suddenly, the person was attacked by a small blonde-haired boy who seemed excited to see him. "Iruka-sensei?" The rest called out. "What are you doing here?" Sakura asked. "I'm here to congratulate you for completing the second part of the exam," Iruka explained. "At the end of the exam, it's set up so that we Chunin are able to meet up with the test takers, and it just so happens that I got summoned to meet you for. And it looks like you made it with just over a day to spare." The four of them were happy to complete the second exam. "Now, you guys can use the tower to rest up and to see if any other groups arrive." "Did anyone else arrive?" Sasuke asked. "Yes, I believe I saw Kiba, Hinata, and Shino earlier. A group of Cloud Ninja arrived about an hour before you four, and there is one last group of Leaf Ninja here, although I don't really know them," Iruka said. With that, Team 7 entered the tower to go join the rest of them. Damn it, Kurama swore as Team 7 entered the living areas in the tower, only to see Gaara and his team. Why did he have to make it? "Oh, just stop it already. If he becomes a problem, then we will just have to beat him up a little," Naruto said to Kurama. Team 7 passed Gaara and the Sun Ninja, receiving an evil glare as they did so. They proceeded deeper into the tower, hoping to find Team 8. "About time you guys made it," Kiba said, coming to meet them. "I was afraid we would have to spend all day with that sand guy. Hey, speaking of which, have you guys noticed something seriously wrong with that guy's head?" The four of them nodded in agreement. Following that, they explained their encounter to Kiba. "Whoa. You mean you guys ran into him in the forest?" Kiba said. "And you got out alive?" "Do you mean you saw him too?" Sakura asked. "Yeah, we did. Akamaru noticed him, but then began trembling like I've never seen before. I tell you, something is not right about that guy. We watched him mercilessly kill another team using his sand. We thought we were next on his kill list, but something caught his attention and he left," Kiba explained. Team 7 knew all too well what caught Gaara's attention and looked at Naruto. Apparently the fox had managed to save a few more of their friends. At that time Shino and Hinata emerged into the room. "Hello," Shino said, greeting his comrades with as few words as possible. He walked into the common area with Hinata following closely behind him. "And Naruto, why you made it," the shy girl said, letting out a blush and trying to avoid eye contact. "Yep, we sure did," Naruto said. He had returned completely to his normal self since his team found out about the fox. "And you made it too. See, I told you, Hinata. You would do great. I even understand that you guys were the first ones here." "You bet. Guess that makes us the best," Kiba bragged. Sasuke shot him a look, effectively shutting him up. "Geez, can't take a joke, can you, Uchiha? There are still a lot of powerful ninja here, so you shouldn't go shooting your mouth off like an idiot." "That's something I thought only Naruto was dense enough to do," Sasuke said as Naruto yelled back at him. "But seriously, don't underestimate anyone here. Especially that Gaara of the desert. I heard that the last test is single combat, and if anyone here has to face him, you had better be careful." Everyone took Sasuke's warning. As it got closer to the end of the exam, a few more teams arrived. Amongst them was the trio of Sound Ninja, a team of Waterfall Ninja, Kabuto's team, Lee's team, and Team 10. As the end of the exam neared, everyone in the tower proceeded to the main hall in the tower, as instructed to meet with the proctors of the exam. The timer stopped. The second portion of the exam had concluded. All the candidates who passed the exam were now standing in a large room. On a stage in front of them stood the Hokage, proctor, and the Jonin senses for each team. "First off, congratulations on passing the second exam," the Hokage announced. "Wow, 22 participants out of 90? I was expecting to cut them in half, but I was expecting single digits," Enko thought to herself. "I guess Ibiki was right, there are some outstanding ones in this group." The candidates looked around to see who else was there. Some, like Team 10, looked exhausted, beat up, and in Chaoji's case, starving. Others, like Team 8, who had 4 days of rest, looked refreshed and ready to go. Your team looks pretty good," Kakashi Gai said to his eternal rival. "But as long as my team is around, don't expect them to get any farther. Now, it's all about real ability. Well, with youth, there are sweet times and there are sour times, Kakashi?" "Huh?" said Kakashi, completely ignoring anything Gai had just said. "Oh Gai? You say something?" Gai turned away and tensed up, clutching a fist. "Not bad, Kakashi. You're cool in that way and it really gets on my nerves." The Jonin took a look at their students. Baki looked at his team of Sand Ninja and noticed that Gaara was unscathed, but there was something unsettling about him. Something had happened in the forest that had Gaara uneased. Kurane noted that her team looked shaken by something. Gai admired the youthfulness of his team. Kakashi, on the other hand, just gave his team the usual smile and wave. To be honest, he had never imagined that his team would make it this far. He had entered them in hopes that they would mature from this experience. However, it seems as if they were well above his expectations. No wonder they nominated them, the Hokage thought to himself, looking over the rookies. For all of them to make it is surprising to say the least. Hokage-sama will now explain the third test, Enko announced to everyone. Please listen carefully. I will, but first there is something I would like you to know. It's about the true purpose of these exams, the Hokage said. Think about it, why do we have many different countries here if each village could hold their own shonen exams for their own ninja? Everyone took a few moments to think about what the Hokage was saying. To promote friendship between countries? The Hokage asked. I don't want you to be confused by these exams' true meaning. In reality, this is a replacement for a war amongst countries. He received many startled looks from the crowd. War? What does that mean? Tenten said to her team. If you go back in time, current allies were once enemies who fought each other for control, the Hokage explained. In order to prevent fighting, this is the stage these countries chose to do battle on. That is the purpose of these exams. What? Naruto blurted out. Isn't this thing for deciding who becomes Chunin? It is a fact that this exam decides who has what it takes to become Chunin, the Hokage explained. But this exam has another side, where each country's shinobi risked their own life to protect their land's prestige. There will be leaders and influential individuals watching the third exam. Many of them come from countries that are clients of shinobi. If the strength of a country is clear, that country will receive more clients, and if seen weak, they will lose clients. Not to mention, it will send a message to other villages that our village has much power. The strength of a country is the strength of the village. The strength of the village is the strength of the shinobi. And a shinobi's true strength is born only through life-risking battles. But why do you say stuff about being for friendship? Tenten asked. I said in the beginning, I don't want you to confuse the purpose of this. By losing life and establishing balance, this is the shape of friendship in the world of shinobi, the Hokage stated. Before we begin the third test, I will tell you one more thing. This is not just a test. This is a life-risking battle, with your dreams and country's prestige on the line. I'd like to explain the third test but... Actually, I apologize Hokage-sama. From here on, as referee, will you please allow me? Kakao Heiide, a sickly-looking ninja said, appearing before the Hokage. The Hokage agreed. Hello everyone, I'm Heiide. Before we begin, there is something I would like you to do. It's a preliminary for the third test. To decide who gets to participate in the main event. Preliminary. Many people questioned in unison. What do you mean? Why aren't all the people here allowed to participate? Sakura asked. Because the first and second tests may have been too easy this year, and we have too many people remaining, Heiide said. According to the rules, we may have a preliminary to reduce the number of participants for the third test. As Hokage-sama said, there are many important individuals and time is important. Now that that is said, if there is anyone who feels like they cannot participate in the preliminary match now, please step forward now and you will be removed. I'm going to quit, Kabuto said. Zaku, whose arm was broken, and one of Kabuto's teammates opted to do the same. One of the Taigekaru ninja did as well. From the waterfall village, there remained one guy and a girl with mint green hair. What Orochimaru said, should we remove Uchiha due to the curse mark? Enko whispered to the Hokage. I don't think that will be possible, Kakashi said, joining the conversation. He is an Uchiha after all. Besides, I don't exactly want to have to deal with Orochimaru's threats. If the mark does not flare up, then let him compete, the Hokage said, much to Enko's disliking. Sasuke turned to his team. I am not backing out. There are too many strong people here that I want to fight, he said. Naruto, I also want to fight you. Naruto stared at his teammate and smiled. Fine, then I want to fight you as well, he responded as their rivalry heated up. Neji turned to his cousin. "Hinata, you should also back out. I must admit that I am impressed you made it this far, but if you continue, something bad will surely happen to you," said Neji. Naruto, who was within hearing distance of this, was a little enraged by Neji's unexplained behavior towards Hinata. "Bah! What do you know about Hinata? She's strong and she doesn't need to listen to you," responded Naruto. "Naruto thinks I am strong?" Hinata thought to herself. This gave her the courage to defy her cousin's warnings and remain in the competition. "Now, if there is no one else, we are going to begin the preliminaries," Hokage announced. "Since there are 22 entries now, we will have 11 matches. Each match will be a one-on-one battle, with the match ending when one fighter is dead, unconscious, or admits defeat." Enko said something into her headset and a screen appeared on the wall behind them. "This electronic scoreboard will show 2 randomly selected people who will do battle," she said as names began to flash on the screen. After it stopped, 2 names remained: Sasuke Uchiha and Yuri Akado. So soon?" Sasuke said, trying to sound surprised. "Now, these 2 entrants come forward while the rest of you, please proceed to the balconies above to watch the matches," Hokage announced. "Sasuke, you better not lose if you want to fight me," Naruto said to his teammate. Sasuke gave him his usual look, indicating that he was planning on winning this quick. Kakashi also walked past Sasuke. "Sasuke," Kakashi whispered, "don't use the Sharingan. If that mark acts up, I will have to step in and stop the fight." "What mark?" Sasuke asked, sending a surprised Kakashi a smile and wondering what was up with everyone thinking he had some sort of mark. Kakashi looked at the back of Sasuke's neck to find that the speculations going around the Jonin were false and that Orochimaru had not given Sasuke a curse mark. We'll talk about this later then. I guess just forget about what I said then," Kakashi responded as he went up to the stairs. With that, the match began. Yuri started off by making a quick hand seal, and a blue chakra aura surrounded his hands. Sasuke activated his Sharingan as Yuri sent a few shurikens sailing towards Sasuke, who easily dodged them. Sasuke charged at Yuri, engaging in a quick taijutsu battle. Sasuke had Yuri pinned to the ground, but Yuri reached and gripped Sasuke's chest, the blue aura appearing around his hand. Sasuke soon felt some chakra being drained from him as he disengaged from Yuri. Shocked at Yuri's ability to absorb chakra, he knew he would have to fight this battle from ranged, or his movements would have to be quick and precise. "Yeah, how's that curse mark feeling, Sasuke?" Yuri thought to himself. "You are going to have to engage me in close combat." It was then that Yuri noticed the Sharingan. What? How does he have the Sharingan activated? He shouldn't be able to without the curse mark flaring up? Apparently Orochimaru never mentioned that he had failed to give Sasuke the curse mark, thanks to the demon-powered Naruto. Sasuke hated to admit it, but he owed Naruto big time for saving him back there. Yuri knew he was in trouble if Sasuke could use his Sharingan. He made a desperate attempt to end the fight by charging at Sasuke with his jutsu active. Suddenly, he felt a foot make contact with the bottom of his hull, knocking him into the air. Copying Lee's technique, Sasuke appeared behind Yuri in his shadow. Sasuke kicked Yuri a few times, making him fall faster towards the ground with each blow. Finally, Sasuke flipped around so that he was on top of Yuri and drove his knee into his opponent's gut as Yuri and the ground met. Lion's Barrage. Sasuke called out as his final strike knocked Yuri unconscious and out of the exam. "Ah, Sasuke. You may have avoided me in the forest, but you will become mine soon enough," Orochimaru said, disguised as the Sun Team's sensei. "However, I need to make sure that next time the demon brat won't be in my way." Kakashi appeared next to the Hokage and Enko. "I looked at Sasuke's neck before the match and there doesn't appear to be a curse mark. I'm going to take him for a further examination to be sure, but it appears that Sasuke has avoided that fate for the time being." Enko looked at Kakashi out of surprise, and the Hokage nodded in agreement. Winner, Sasuke Uchiha Heiei announced as medics came to collect Yori. Kakashi went to meet Sasuke. "Come with me, the Hokage just wants to be sure," he said to Sasuke as the Uchiha victor followed him out of the room. "Where's Sasuke going?" Sakura asked out of curiosity. Naruto and Haku shrugged. Next match, Choji Akamichi vs Dosakinta Heiei announced. Choji stepped forward, revealing some of his nerves to his opponent. "Yeah, I have to fight this nervous fatty?" Dosa taunted his opponent. "What did you just say?" Choji growled in anger. Dosa had just said the taboo word for Choji. "I am not fat. Human boulder." Choji did one of his family's jutsu, inflating himself into a large ball and rolling at high speeds towards Dosa. Dosa sidestepped Choji as the human boulder slammed into the wall. Wanting to end it quick, Dosa revealed some apparatus on his forearm and slammed it into Choji. With a flick of his finger, he sent a shockwave of sound through Choji's body, effectively knocking him out. Winner, Dosakinta Heiei announced as Team 10 let their spirits drop. Next match, Hakuyuki vs Tenten. This will be an interesting fight, Tenten said as she faced Haku. The battle between the weapons expert and Senbon specialist was about to begin. Heiei announced as Tenten took a step backwards, throwing a few shuriken to test the waters. Haku quickly knocked them out of the way with his Senbon and sent a few more towards Tenten, who dodged them rather easily. "You're not going to beat me with Senbon. I know about all types of weapons and yours is not powerful enough," Tenten stated. "Tenten, show him the power of your youth," Lee said, cheering for his teammates from the stands. Not caring about anyone else's ears, Lee did so, deafening anyone standing within 10 feet of him. "Lee, cheer harder," Gai instructed. "Yes, Gai-sensei. I will pour all of my youth into this cheer," shouted Lee. Now, no one was safe from Lee's shouts. This match is practically over," Sasuke said, returning to the stands. "Is Kakashi-sensei with you?" Naruto asked. "No, he stayed behind, saying he had something to check up on. Typical." Sasuke shrugged. "Yeah, long time no see, Kakashi," the sound sensei said to Kakashi. "You should consider your student lucky. However, he won't escape me next time." "Orochimaru," Kakashi growled out. "Why are you here? Why are you after Sasuke?" "Yeah, you're lucky. You've already got your hands on it," Orochimaru hissed. Kakashi realized what Orochimaru was referring to. "Yes, it's the Sharingan. Just like the one in your left eye. I want it." What are your goals?" Kakashi said, trying to squeeze as much out of the snake before it slithered away. "The newly created Sound Village. That's my village. You should be able to figure out just from that," Orochimaru said. "For that purpose, I need a lot of pieces." Kakashi activated his Raikiri, ready to take down Orochimaru if he must. However, Orochimaru just turned and left into the darkness. "I will get my hands on Sasuke, and there is nothing you can do to stop me." Orochimaru let out a sinister laugh as he faded from view. "What do you mean over?" Lee shouted at Sasuke. "Tenten's youthful powers far exceed your teammates. Just watch the match and you'll see," Sasuke said as everyone turned their attention back to the match. Tenten and Haku were engaged in an equal battle of throwing weapons at one another. Realizing that she needed something different, Tenten took out the 2 scrolls on her side. Ninja Art, Twin Rising Dragons. Suddenly, the 2 scrolls unfurled and rose into the air. Tenten jumped up and began summoning weapons, bombarding Haku with a rain of sharp pointy objects. With her attack finished, Tenten landed on the ground to see the results. All she saw was Haku encased in a dome of ice. "What?" most of the people in the stand said. Team 7 didn't look so surprised. Gai-sensei, what is up with that ice surrounding Haku? Lee asked. Everyone else was shocked by Haku's mysterious ability. Like I said, this match is over, Sasuke repeated himself. Haku has a rare blood limit called the Hyoten. Watch a little more and you shall see its true powers. Hyoten, demonic ice mirrors. Haku said as a dome of ice mirrors formed around Tendon. Tendon! Lee shouted out as the rest of Team Gai looked on at Haku's abilities. Please surrender now. I do not wish to harm you, Haku said, his reflection appearing in every mirror. Huh? Like you could keep me trapped in here as mere ice? Tendon replied. She threw a few kunai with explosive tags at one of the mirrors, only for it to be unfazed, much to her surprise. Haku went on the offensive, hitting the joints on her arms and legs with Senbon, effectively immobilizing Tendon. What did you do? I can't move, she called out as she collapsed to the ground. I hit the nerve clusters in your arms and legs. You won't be able to move them for about an hour, but I made sure not to damage them. You should be able to regain full control after some rest, Haku explained. Neji looked on in shock at the skills Haku possessed. The boy's precision appeared to rival even his own. The proctor took a look at Tendon, and she noted that what Haku said was correct. Alright, I declare Hakuyuki the winner. Next up, Ino Yamanaka vs Sakura Haruno. Everyone in the stands braced for the cat fight of the century. I never thought that I would have to fight you, Sakura, Ino said to her opponent. To Ino's surprise, Sakura removed her headband that she had been using to hold back her hair, and tied it properly around her forehead. Those two. This could get troublesome, Shikamaru sighed, leaning on the railing. It may not look like it, but Ino is an exceptional shinobi, Asuma thought about his student. But will she be able to go all out against Sakura? Flashback. As a female ninja, we must not only be skilled in the arts of the shinobi, but also culture and knowledge, an academy instructor lectured. If you cannot sneak into enemy territory and act as a normal woman, then being a spy will be pointless. Today's lesson will be flower arrangement. Now go and pick some flowers. The little girls ran off to complete their assignment. Ino, wait up a little, Sakura said, calling out for her friend. Before reaching a small Ino, she tripped and fell to the ground. I'm bad at this stuff, how about you? Sakura asked her friend. What? Ino asked, trying to see if Sakura was serious. But you're named after a flower. Yeah, there is a trick to this. What? Really? Sakura said. Yeah. What you do is find a main flower, and then find smaller flowers that complement it, Ino explained. Look over there. Ino pointed at a few flowers. If this cosmos is the main flower, then you can use that. Fujibakama has a complement. Like the sakura flower in the spring, the cosmos flower is the most beautiful flower in the fall. And in flower language, it means harmony as it goes along great with any other autumn flower. Ino then held the flower up to her head and gave a cute smile. Look. Does this go as nice with me as it does the cosmos? Aren't I a cutie? Why? Yeah, Sakura responded. What was with that pause? Ino asked. Suddenly 3 larger girls appeared behind Sakura. Well, if it isn't Miss Gigantic Forehead, their leader said. Trying to make yourself look better recently? Who do you think you are? Ino then proceeded to deck the girl upside the head, sending her flying back and leaving a few flowers sticking out of her mouth. I'm sorry, I must have mistaken that opening for a vase, Ino said as the rest of the girls' group gathered around their unconscious leader. It may be weak, but that flower is poisonous. You had better spit it out. With that, the 3 older girls were running away from Ino. Ino is so incredible. She's so smart and fashionable and cute. And her ninjutsu skills are great as well, Sakura thought. But compared to her, I'm just. Sakura looked down at the flowers she was holding and got a saddened look on her face. If Ino is a cosmos, then I'm just a Fujibakama, Sakura said quietly, although Ino picked up on what she was saying. "What are you talking about? If you ask me, you aren't even a flower, you are a bud," Ino said, only worsening Sakura's depression. End flashback. "Right now, I have no intention of fighting you over Sasuke," Sakura said, facing her opponent as she recalled some of her childhood memories with Ino. "What?" Ino shouted out. "You and Sasuke don't even go together," Sakura stated. "Plus I am stronger than you. I don't even have to worry about you." "Sakura, who the hell do you think you are?" Ino replied. "Don't get ahead of yourself, crybaby Sakura." "What are they doing?" Naruto asked Kakashi. "Well, it looks like Sakura doesn't want Ino to not take her seriously or show her mercy," Kakashi explained. Flashback. "Hey Ino, why did you give me the ribbon?" Sakura asked, sitting next to her friend. "Yeah, that's because it would be a waste if you ended up as a bud," Ino said. "A flower is meaningless unless it blooms, right? And it could grow into an even more beautiful flower." "Thank you, Ino," Sakura said to herself as the two went off to pick some more flowers. End flashback. "I have always believed those words that you told me," Sakura said to her opponent and rival. "I had always believed them to be true. I wanted to be like you. You were my goal. Thanks to you I am here now. That's why, Ino, I want this to be an all-out fight. Unless I really surpass you, it's meaningless." "Why are they acting like that?" Naruto said, hoping they would get to the fight. "He doesn't even understand. He's the same way with Sasuke," single quote Kakashi thought, looking over to Sasuke, who was also starting to get a little impatient at the talking. On the floor, Ino moved her headband from her waist to her forehead, indicating that she acknowledged Sakura as an opponent. The fight was ready to begin. Sakura ran at Ino, creating 3 clones in the process. Ino saw right through them, but Sakura had just focused all of her chakra to her feet, causing her to lunge at Ino with increased speed. Her fist made contact with Ino, sending her back. "Wow! Sakura rules!" Naruto shouted out. "Her basic chakra control is perfect, even for a rookie," Kakashi said. "In that respect, she's even better than you and Sasuke." This caught both of their attention as Kakashi tried to redirect it back to the fight. "Wow, Sakura is even more beautiful now than she ever was," Lee thought to himself. Sakura and Ino both engaged one another, then backing off to throw shuriken at each other. Their shuriken hit one another, canceling the attack completely. But her opponent did great too. This could be a long match. Since when did she become so strong? Ino thought. "I can do this," Sakura thought. Both of their fists collided with each other's face, sending them both to the ground. By this point in time, the battle had gone on over 10 minutes and even the proctor was starting to get impatient. "There's no way you could be even with me," Ino shouted. "Of course, how could I be even with someone who only worries about growing her hair?" Sakura replied. Like Sakura had done back in the forest, Ino took a knife and cut her long ponytail off, much to her team's surprise. She then threw the cut hair on the ground, scattering it over. "Yikes!" Shikamaru said. She snapped. "I'm going to end this right now. I'm going to make I give up come directly from your mouth," Ino said, making her family's signature hand seal. "I understand your desperation, but that is useless, seeing as all I have to do is avoid it, which will be easy," Sakura said. "You then wouldn't be able to return to your body for a few minutes and Hayate would be forced to call the fight." Sakura prepared to run, only to get tangled in Ino's hair that lined the ground. "Ninja art, mind transfer jutsu," Ino called out as her body went limp. At the same time, so did Sakura's. "Wait, which one is it?" Shikamaru called out, not sure if her jutsu hit. "Too bad, Sakura," Ino said, from Sakura's body. "Sakura!" Both Lee and Naruto called out. "Now's your chance, finish Ino off." "Idiots," It's useless now, Shikamaru explained. Ino transferred her mind into Sakura. She's now in control of Sakura. Proctor, Sakura Haruno, would like to. Ino Sakura said. Sakura don't do it. Naruto shouted out. If you lose to that Sasuke fangirl, you're not a woman. Damn, he's so annoying, Ino thought. Suddenly, Ino felt something inside Sakura's head, like Sakura was fighting back for control. She clutched her head. Inside Sakura's head, the inner Sakura began beating up Ino, forcing her out of Sakura's body. Two minds? What are you? Ino said with her own voice again. Yeah, don't you know women have to be tough to survive? Sakura said, finally regaining control of herself. Once you are caught by the jutsu, it's difficult to repel, Kakashi thought. But, what if Naruto's cheering awakened her inner desire to beat Ino, and that's what gave her the strength? Maybe she's not so weak after all, Sasuke said to himself. With one last burst of energy, the two kunoichi charged at each other, their punches making contact with each other's faces. The two fell to the ground unconscious. Their jonin senses went